Every year, millions of Americans celebrate Thanksgiving, but how did the holiday begin? Was it really a feast between Pilgrims and Native Americans? And why has the story become one of the most famous events in American history? In 1620, the Pilgrims arrived in North America aboard the Mayflower. They founded Plymouth Colony in present-day Massachusetts. Their first year was disastrous. Cold weather, disease, and food shortages killed nearly half the settlers during the first winter. Had things continued that way, Plymouth might have disappeared just like Roanoke. But help arrived from an unexpected source. The Pilgrims encountered the Wampanoag Confederacy, led by Chief Massasoit. The Wampanoag had recently suffered devastating losses from European diseases that had spread through the region. Despite this, Massasoit chose diplomacy. He negotiated a peace agreement with the settlers. A Native American named Squanto became especially important. Squanto spoke English because he had previously been captured by Europeans. He had been taken across the Atlantic before eventually returning home. He taught the Pilgrims how to plant corn, fertilize crops with fish, find local food sources, and survive in New England. Without that knowledge, Plymouth might not have survived. By the fall of 1621, conditions had improved. The colonists harvested enough food to survive the coming winter. To celebrate, Plymouth Governor William Bradford organized a harvest feast. The Wampanoag, including Massasoit and many of his people, joined the gathering. The celebration lasted several days. The menu was probably very different from modern Thanksgiving dinners. There were likely deer, wild birds, corn, fish, and local vegetables. There were no pumpkin pies, mashed potatoes, or cranberry sauce as most Americans know them today. The 1621 feast was not immediately called Thanksgiving. In fact, for centuries, it was only one of many colonial harvest celebrations. The modern holiday developed much later. During the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a National Thanksgiving Day in 1863. The holiday helped unite Americans during one of the nation's most difficult periods. Over time, the Plymouth Feast became associated with the national celebration. The story of the first Thanksgiving became an important symbol in American culture. It represented cooperation, gratitude, survival, and new beginnings. At the same time, historians remind us that relations between colonists and Native Americans later became far more complicated and often violent. The 1621 gathering was a moment of peace, but it did not prevent future conflicts. Understanding both parts of the story helps create a more complete picture of American history. For the Pilgrims, the harvest feast was not just a celebration, it was proof that Plymouth had survived. 1 year earlier, many of the people at the table had wondered whether the colony would even exist. Now they had a future. The first Thanksgiving became one of the most enduring stories in American history. It connected themes that would appear again and again: cooperation and conflict, immigration and settlement, survival and adaptation, faith and community. As more settlers arrived in New England, the small Plymouth colony would no longer stand alone. Thousands of Puritans were preparing to cross the Atlantic. In the next episode, we'll explore the Great Migration and how the Puritans built New England.